everyone, Sheree here. Today I have some new stamps and dies to share with you from Technique Tuesday. I'm really excited to be a guest over there this month, and they've sent me these beautiful butterfly stamps to use. There's a few different sentiments in this stamp set, but I've chosen to use the one that says celebrate everyday things. You can see I've already had a little play with them just so that you'd be able to see them better on camera. It's a little bit hard to see them in the package. There's the 3 different sizes of butterflies. These are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm planning on using all 3 of them on this page today. The dies are called the Essential Stitched Labels dies. And you can see in the pack there you get a couple of different sizes of label to use, and there's also all these little circular pieces that you can use to either add these slot dies in the edges there. You can add ribbon to each side of your label, or there's the circles, which is what I've used today to create my tag. Now I'm using papers from the Pink Paisley Paige Evans Whimsical collection, and I've chosen the light orange paper to cut my large label from. So I've used the largest die that's in the pack and one of those smaller circular pieces to cut the hole at the top, and I'll just bring it in closer so you can see the stitch detail that's all the way around the outside and around that little hole that I punched out as well. So all I had to do then was add twine to the top, and that is ready to use. I've got Stays on ink on my desk. That's just what I have on my desk at the moment. I've got 2 photos to use on this page today, and I've also got the little die cut flowers and leaves here as well, and my journaling is already printed out and ready to go. So I'll pop you on fast forward and show you what I'm going to do today. Okay, so to start off with, I'm just going to tear the bottom 1 inch of cardstock away, and then I'm going to tuck my other pieces of pattern paper in behind. So you can see there I've got 2 strips. First of all, I'm going to stick the stripy rainbow piece down. So I've just got double-sided tape across the back there, and I'm using my T-square ruler just to make sure I've still got that 12 inches on that side. The other way I could have done it is place a 12 by 12 piece underneath so that I could make sure I adhere it in the right spot, but this worked as well. And I've just got that other strip tucked in up underneath the edge of the torn cardstock. So I know that I've got that piece 12 by 12 now, so I'm going to go ahead and add a bit of stitching. So you can see there I've stitched right along that edge and just roughed it up a little bit, and now I can move on to some stamping. So I've got my Stays on ink, and I've got the medium-sized butterfly there just on some plain white cardstock. Next up is the smaller butterfly, and then I've got that larger butterfly as well. So I just have to turn that sideways. And then I've got the sentiment to stamp up too, so that's the one that says celebrate everyday things. So just stamping that one. Now I can grab my scissors and cut these out, and they are ready to use. So I've got my tag that I want to go roughly in the center. I'm just putting everything into position now to make sure I've got all my spacing right before I go ahead and start adhering that tag down. So I've got double-sided tape on the back of that. Make sure it's roughly in the center using my T-square ruler. And that's looking good. So now my photos can go on there as well. So I've just got double-sided tape on the back of those, and I'll slightly overlap them so they're sort of coming off the sides of that large label tag. So that's looking good. Next up, I've got these die cut flowers. So I've got a foam dot going behind the blue flower, but just double-sided tape behind the other 2, and then I'm just going to layer them together over the corner of that photo area. Next up is these leaves. I'm just adding thin double-sided tape right at the base of the leaves. I wanted to leave the ends free so that I can pop a little foam dot behind them just to add a little bit of dimension. So you can see there I'm just grabbing those foam dots, really tiny ones, just popping it underneath the very end leaves there, just really adding some nice dimension to the page. Got one more to go on that last leaf, and that is now done. Alright, so next up I've got the sentiment, which I'm just going to tuck underneath the edge of that leaf there under the photo. I could have stamped directly onto the page, but I like the layer of that extra layer of the stamped piece there. Next, my photos are going into position. I've just got a thin double-sided tape down the center of each of the butterflies, and you'll see later I do add some stitching which really helps to secure those in place. My journaling strips are now going on underneath the sentiment there, and I will be adding some stitching to these as well. So I'm just going to add the date first, and then I'll grab my sewing machine and add that stitching. Okay, so that's now done. You can see I've just stitched butterfly trails around the page, and it's just really subtle texture, which I really love. So all I need to do now is staple the twine at the top of the tag, and this page is done. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how this has come together. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'll leave a link down below to Technique Tuesday, and I'll be back again soon with another project to share. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye for now.